So it has been a while now since we've had any sort of new videos and new content uploaded to our channel, so I thought I'd just sit down for a few minutes and talk you sort of through a few sessions we have had and a few sort of times we've been out and perhaps things sort of haven't gone to plan. But yeah, a little bit of a vlog today really. Now, one of the main reasons why is just sort of the past few weeks and months have been really short of time. I actually became a dad. My partner gave birth to a little baby girl. She's now 8 weeks old. Yeah, she's doing really well. So as you can imagine, it has been a very hectic time, and I'm sure all the mums and dads out there will sort of understand that. The sort of fishing and the filming has taken a little bit of a back seat. But yeah, fingers crossed now as she's getting a little bit older, say 8 weeks old, hopefully I'm going to persuade mum and perhaps get out there a little bit more in the next sort of coming weeks and months, because we've got some really good content ideas and some really nice videos that we'd like to film, especially on the sea fishing front. Now, we've sort of been inundated with comments and messages saying, you know, when our next sea fishing videos coming. So don't worry, we have got some ideas planned, and we're going to be out hopefully this weekend filming something perhaps a little bit different, which should hopefully be on in the next, I don't know, couple of weeks, something like that. But while on the sea fishing front, I will probably start the vlog here and going back to, when was it? I think it was probably end of August. I actually went up to my favourite bit of beach up North Norfolk, an area I just love fishing, especially in the sort of spring and summer months. It's been really kind to me through the years. We've actually done a few videos there as well, and we went there, absolutely glorious evening, proper summer's evening, t-shirt weather, sun out, sea was flat calm, and this is a little bit of sort of how we got on. Right, so we've just got the second rod in. There's a little bit of weed in the water, which is a little bit worrying, but luckily it was nothing too major. It weren't the real fine snotty stuff, it's more like the sort of cabbagey stuff you get really. But we'll put the second rod back out, and just simply on that one I put a bit of sand eel and a bit of squid. But with this one I'm just going to go for straight worm. I say we've got some lug with us. We haven't got too many, but we've got enough to sort of have a decent go. You know, this sort of nature. I want a nice big smelly bait out there, even if you're fishing for like little schoolies. You know, I'd rather have a decent sized worm bait than what I would 2 worms on a 2-hook clip down. But sometimes you'll find when you are bass fishing, a lot of the bites can be sort of really aggressive, really quick, really aggressive. And sometimes I think if you're using a pennel setup like we are today, which I'll show you in a second, I just think it gives you that little bit more sort of, you know, hooking power, if you like, especially if you do get a sort of charged up 2-pound bass schoolie that's gonna can really sort of swipe at the bait sometimes. And I just feel this pennel setup like we've got there, you got your 2 hooks, it just gives you a better chance. So if he's going to swipe it at the top end here, you're going to hook him, and same at the bottom end. But that's quite a nice compact bait. And then all we've got today, we're fishing a pulley pennel. I won't bother showing you that, you've probably seen it on pretty much 99% of our videos. But I've got a smaller lead today. I've only got the blue top breakaway, which I think, or impact lead, which I think is the 4 ounce. So that just clipped down nicely like so. So we haven't got a massive tide, but what we have got is the tide's now going out, and it's sort of exposed, like there's a little gully in front of us that's sort of filled up with water, and as the tide's gone out, it's left that. So I'm just wading through that to get to sort of where the actual, you know, the real sea is, if you like, and casting out there, because I'm probably losing, I don't know, 20 or so yards on the cast. But what you find is a lot of these surf beaches as well is the profile of them tends to be, you have a deep gully in front of you, and then you'll have a bank however many yards out where the water breaks, and you can clearly see that. Imagine at high water when you're fishing up there, the water's breaking on this bank, and you've got the bit of depth in front of you, and then the other side of the bank you've got the depth the other side. So I'm probably gonna, perhaps not so much now because it's gone out and there's barely any water close in. So I think both rods, both the sand eel, I've punched that out a fair way, and then I'm going to do the same with this one as well. And yeah, hopefully might pick some fish up at the back of it, but that's the plan anyway. So we'll get this one out there and yeah, see what happens. But the sun's just sort of starting to set now. We can't be, I don't know, I haven't looked at the time, but we can't be a million miles away from low water, but hopefully that'll bring on a few fish. And certainly, as I think, as we go into darkness, the water clarity is very, very clear. So a lot of the time you find the slightly bigger fish will come in after dark or when them light levels drop, just because they feel more comfortable feeding. So that's the plan anyway, but you know, whether that's going to happen, you don't know. That's sea fishing. But we'll get this one out there and we'll see what we can do. Well, I think we might have just had a little nibble on this rod. There was a lot of weed out there. The last couple of chucks, I mean a lot of weed. So I cut down the distance dramatically and just sort of dropped it in where them waves are turning over. And we had a little nibble, but I don't know whether it's being distorted a little bit through the amount of weed that's in the water. But I'm just going to walk down a little bit and see. So it's actually not very far out. I feel like there's a little bit of weight there. Let's say it could just be the weed. But it'll take it steady. We'll probably find out, because to say the way the sort of beach has gone, we've got this sort of pool in front of us, so it'll almost sort of drop into that when it gets over that shallow water. Ever such a tiny little bite. It might be because it's an absolutely tiny little fish, but we'll have a look. It's coming in now. Weed all caught in the lead or not, but got a little schoolie to show you. Exactly what I thought we're probably gonna catch, if anything. But after the last couple of casts, which have been an absolute nightmare with weed, it is nice to get something. But what we'll do is we'll get him slipped back and get another bait ready. It was probably, I don't know now, a couple of weeks back, me and Steve actually went down to Kesgrave, which is probably another one of my favourite beaches. Done quite a few videos there. And I guess it was sort of, well, in my head, it was this sort of start of our autumn and winter sea fishing campaign, if you like. But, I mean, it's been crazy this year. It did not feel like autumn or winter at all. We haven't really had anything. It's been a real struggle. And, you know, considering we're now right at the end of October, nearly in November, it's not felt like an autumnal day at all. It's felt more like July. I mean, I've been in a t-shirt for most of it, and yeah, it's been a real struggle. The sea's really calm, not a lot of colour in it, and when we do get a bite, it's a little bass, something you'd more associate with the spring and the summer. But we'll get him slipped back. He's certainly brightened up our day anyway. So we are down at Kesgrave today, and it's not been a great day, if I'm honest with you. We've come down here trying to sort of start the first autumn winter videos of the year, really. We're now at the end of October, and yeah, it's not really gone as I've expected. It's been an absolutely glorious day. I mean, there's been, I think it's half term week, so there's been loads of holiday makers about, loads of people sort of even in and out of the water, and it's been a real nice day, but absolutely terrible fishing conditions. And yeah, it's been a bit of a failure, if I'm honest, but we're down here giving it a go anyway. We can't actually fish on through to the evening today. We're only got sort of a day session, so we probably are going to be leaving at the best time. But we've had one fish, as you've just seen. But there is one question that I would like to ask you all, and that is, are camo waders acceptable on the beach? Is that coddy or is that noddy? Let us know in the comments below. So let us know below, camo waders, are they coddy or are they noddy? Now we actually ran a little sort of fun poll on this on our Instagram page, so it's a good time to plug that. If you don't follow us on there, you can head over, and it is at From the Water's Edge TV. Yeah, we update on there fairly regular, and when we're out and about, we post a little bit on our Instagram story as well. Staying on that same session, pretty much about an hour after the top of the tide, we had another bass, which was a nice surprise. Well, we're coming towards the sort of last cast of the day, really. We're not, as I say, we're not fishing tonight into darkness, so we've only just been fishing a day session, and with the weather how it has been and the sort of real small tide, I've not expected a great deal, and I haven't been disappointed, to be honest. But I just had a little knock there, and I'm thinking now bringing in what is probably, I'm guessing, is going to be a whiting. It's what you sort of expect at this time of year, but actually it is another little bass. So we'll bring him in and we'll give you a little look. That is quite, I wouldn't say unusual, but it's a little bit sort of strange now how things have almost changed a little bit. I'll just pop the hook out. He's only ever so lightly hooked. Is that it's now nearly November and we're still catching bass. Just switch hands. But I was talking to a guy earlier, and you know, we were sort of saying, I remember as a kid, and it would get to sort of September time, start of September, and you sort of, that, you know, all the thoughts of the spring fish would be gone, and you know, it'd be out and out whiting and cod. But he's very welcome. I guess it's something to do, the temperature of the sea is probably still warm, and you know, these little chaps are probably hanging around a lot longer than what they used to. But second one of the day, good bit of sport, we'll get him slipped back. And then unfortunately, before I left, I had a little accident with one of my reels. To be fair, mate, I needed to respool anyway. That is last chuck, that has proper exploded. Now anyone who uses multiply reels will probably know that it does happen every now and again, but yeah, that's not good. No excuses for that. So I think I need to get home, get in the garage, and have a bit of a freshen up for the coming autumn winter season, I reckon. Not good. So I need to get that sorted, and there's quite a few bits and pieces I need to get for the tackle box. Yeah, so a trip to the local tackle shop is definitely in order. But staying on the sea fishing theme, going back, again, probably a few months, we actually had a call from our good friend Phil White, who runs the charter boat, the Chinook 3. He called us up and said they'd actually been getting quite a good number of spur dogs. Something I've never really caught, and something that he said aren't too common. So it was a good chance for us to get out there and, you know, and try something a little bit different. Again, we were absolutely blessed with probably the best boat fishing conditions you could imagine. It was a glorious summer's day, and the sea was like an absolute mill pond. And we sort of, it was a little bit different in the sort of tackle we were using, sort of slightly bigger hooks, thicker lines, stuff like that. Slightly stepped up gear than what you'd fish for smooth hound. And we'd done something I'd never done before, which I'd seen done before but never done it myself, and that was we actually put out sort of a bit of like rubby-dubby or ground bait. And for anyone who don't know, basically we had a load of old herring and mackerel and sardines or whatever, anything, chopped them up sort of in sections into an old bag, down on the anchor rope with the plan of, you know, all the little particles go in the water and hopefully bring the spur dogs up tide to our rods. Unfortunately, it didn't quite go to plan and we didn't land the target species, but we had a nice number of thornback ray. They sort of kept us busy. There was Steve on board, he got in on the action, and also our good friend Dave Sicklemore, he had a few as well. So a nice day all the same. And what I would say is, if you haven't been out with Phil and you like your boat fishing, check out his website, which I think is philwhitecharters.co.uk, because it really is a great day out with him if you've not been out. So definitely recommended. Staying on the boat fishing theme, and sort of an area where this year I think we'd like to do a little bit more, or this winter, is sort of predator fishing. Sort of zander, perch and pike. I think me and Steve both quite like that. So hopefully we're going to do a bit more, but I'm going back. We actually went out to Rutland, which for anyone who doesn't know is a massive trout reservoir. There's a lot of fly fishing going on there, but it's also full of predators. So me, Steve and our good friend Dave again actually hired one of the boats out from the fishing lodge, went out there and attempted to catch a few of the reservoir predators. Unfortunately, whereas previously we've had some great weather, this wasn't good. It was absolutely Baltic. I think we pretty much had every item of fishing clothing on we owned. It was really windy as well, which doesn't help things. Drifting in the boat, and what the wind does, it really speeds up your drift. So if you can find some fish and you're jigging, when you're drifting over the top, you're just moving that little bit too quickly. So you find them, and then you could be drifting off them in a matter of sort of seconds almost, depending on how windy it was. And it was really windy. It looked more like the sea out there. But unfortunately no zander, but Steve did manage to land a real nice pike.
Well, we've been moving around a little bit and we've finally hooked one. It's been a bit of a grueler this morning. It's freezing cold, I'm absolutely frozen, but we've moved into a little bit of shallower water and literally a couple of drops down and it's a sleeper rod that's gone, the one that just sits there like we were saying, sort of rocks on the boat, and that's been the one that's hooped over. But I must say it's fighting pretty hard, and from previous experience that's not going to be a zander, and it isn't, it's a pike. It's quite a nice one though. Well, there we are. Dave's on hand for the pike handling tutorial. It's not a secret of mine that I don't do too much pike fishing, and we're not even out here pike fishing today, but what a brilliant start, and it certainly pays off for the move. Like I said, we're fishing a deeper water and we moved into slightly shallower water actually off the back of speaking to the person in the hut where you buy your ticket from. So local knowledge is key to where the fish are. Not what we're fishing for, but certainly no one is ever going to complain about that.
Confidence booster.
Exactly. Well done, mate. It's you put us here. Let's get those rods back out, because I reckon there could be a few Zeds with it, don't you?
Certainly should.
Let's get that out.
So unfortunately no zander, but as I say, that is something we're sort of keen to do again. It is, I don't know, it's just something about that place. I don't know whether it's, you sort of get a little bit the sea fishing element to that, because I think it's like so unknown. It's such a vast bit of water that, you know, who knows what's going to turn up there. But yeah, I think it's something we're perhaps going to look at doing next sort of few months while the time is right. But yeah, it'll be shared to post results in a video on YouTube. Staying on the sort of pike, perch and predator subject, another thing we sort of like to get out and do when we can, and what we've done quite a bit of last year, is sort of jig fishing and drop shotting. And luckily around, you know, where we are here in Norfolk, we've obviously got Norfolk Broads, there is loads and loads of opportunity to, you know, sort of go and do that sort of fishing. And that's something we've done. We've had quite a good go at, mainly for perch, but unfortunately again the target species have eluded us, and we've had had more pike.
Well, it's not taken that long to find a fish, but as always with me, I'm just going to bend down and get the net. I managed to find a non-intended species. I am a bit of a tiny jackpike magnet. Certainly not the intended species, but what a wicked little fella this chap is. He's full of character. I do like little tiny pike, I must admit. There's something about him that's just that prehistoric look, and like I said, although we're not fishing for him, he's welcome, isn't he? What a nice little result.
But once again, that is something we're going to have another go at, especially over the next sort of 2 and 3 months. Bit of predator fishing, bit of sea fishing, and some sort of new content is definitely sort of coming your way. So I guess just like to say a big thanks to everyone for all the support. Thanks to everyone for being so patient, really. I know you like watching the videos, and we love producing them, but as I say, it's been a real busy time. But definitely next few weeks, next few months, we've got some real nice ideas coming. So yeah, if you're not subscribed already, you can hit the subscribe button, which I think is either there or there. So hit that button, never miss an episode. And yeah, so I'd just like to say big thanks for watching. As always, be lucky, and we'll see you again on the next one.